you guys. Sorry I'm late. I know, I'm always late. I don't mean to be. I don't understand what's going on. But anyway, today we're going to talk about how correspondence and a paper trail impact how you can get services for your kid. And that paper trail includes evaluations and what the evaluators actually say, which means there's a certain way you have to convey what you want, what you want determined through an evaluation. Not that you want the evaluation to turn out a certain way. Hey, Barbara. It's just that you want the truth, okay? Whatever that looks like, you need the truth, okay? So if it means that your kid doesn't get the service that you want, so be it, okay? If it means they do, then you get them. But your independent evaluator has to make sure that they word it in a way. For instance, okay, so one of my clients, we just did, she's getting the evaluations done. And so we want to make sure that all areas of suspected disability are covered. However, the school or the independent evaluator that she had decided, the speech and language pathologist, well, she just decided on her own, because you know she has contracts with the school district. So she just decided on her own that she's only going to use 2 assessment tools. Okay, well, the kid is articulate, like he can form a sentence. He can express his wants and needs, except for pragmatic skills. That's in the trilic. That's why he doesn't have any friends. Greedy for sure. Oh, God, yes. So anyway, so to help them, so the school district finally, oh, good, thank you. Lisa, oh, that's a pretty name. I love how you spell your name, girl. So anyway, so I pissed the school off because I made them file for truancy because get this, we're in a hearing, right? So we go to the hearing and I file a motion for pendency during the hearing. Okay, that's an actual thing. So when you're in a hearing, okay, the school district cannot take away your kid's right to an education in any way, shape, or form. So if your kid's on an IEP and it was accepted, during the hearing, the school has to implement that IEP. That's called pendency placement during the hearing. Whatever that IEP said is where that kid stays until the end of the hearing. And if there's a decision that changes it, then there's a decision that changes it, but you also have appeal rights. And until you exhaust all of the IDEA requirements, until you end up in federal court or district, never go to federal, go to district. I mean, never go to district, go straight to federal, because then it just stops. But anyway, I got pissed. So I started sending emails to everybody, and I included the state special ed director. I sent it to OSEP. I sent it to the state special ed director. I sent it everywhere, telling them how this kid's been sitting at home and the district won't file truancy, all kinds of stuff. Well, they filed it. I made them do it because I sent it to them too. And I made them do it. I kept asking questions. How is it that the child sits at home without this and these truancy laws and all of this stuff, right? I private messaged Lincoln about Rachel and no response from state and OSEP. I sent a second email. Good. Did you write second request? Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Call them on the phone too. Call them, send them, keep sending the same thing and ask them, is there a special reason why you're not answering me? Is that what we're doing? We're just not going to answer me? Send it directly to Ruth Ryder and say, these people, hey, Patricia, tell them, these people are not answering me. I don't understand, Ms. Ryder. Now what? Okay. So anyway, so finally the school district, PA, good. Finally, the school district and PA, they filed. These idiots filed for truancy. Okay. So we knew it was coming up. So I prepared the parent for everything because I couldn't go. So I told her exactly what to bring. I told her exactly what to do. We talked about it all week. I told her exactly. I was drilling it in her head all week. So she wouldn't be afraid when she was standing in front of the judge, because it's scary standing in front of a judge. You get all tongue-tied and everything, and you forget everything. But no, I set it up. I wrote out her questions. I told her what I did. It wasn't even questions. I wrote out the answers. So she could just look at the paper and she could see it. And I kept telling her, this is what you do. You don't argue with the judge. You just say, I object to what they just said. That's not true and I can prove it. And then she got her story out. So anyway, we got her out. So she's standing in front of the judge. So the judge said to the school district, because it's truancy. Easy question. Should be able to answer it after real quick like that. How many days has the kid been absent from school? Crickets. The judge said, how many days has the kid been absent from school? Because, the judge is thinking, because of what the idiots wrote, the kid's been out of school for 2 weeks, a month, 60 days, whatever. The school had to tell the judge, since 2016, I wish I was there. The mother said the judge's eyes were this big. Yeah, because they're stupid. So then finally, because they threw me under the bus, I was a bad advocate, the mother's a bad parent, all we want to do is fight. I guess in Pennsylvania, you don't have the right to dispute anything the district said. If they said it's so, you just do it. You do what they say because they're right. How are they right? So apparently in this state, there's no dispute process, according to the school district and the hearing officer, because let me tell you what the hearing officer did. I'll go back to that in a minute about the court case. So I filed a motion for pendency during the hearing, like I was telling you before. This is that same kid. The hearing officer came back and said the kid's last placement was the public school in a regular ed classroom. So, but I mean, and the last IEP was at the public school. So he sent her to the public school. Okay, good. That IEP that he was referring to talked about behavior and that there was a behavior support plan. And he decided he wasn't going to do anything about that. He didn't mention it because it wasn't a part of the IEP. This is what he did. And he was slick about it. So I filed a motion. The judge turned it into a motion for reconsideration. In an email, he denied it. He just said no. There was no findings of fact and conclusions of law. There was no citations. There was no laws that he quoted. There was no cases, nothing. He just said no in an email. That's a violation. He can't do that. He thinks he can. He's about to get schooled real quick. So during the hearing, the kid sat home because her disability is school refusal. And it's well documented all over the kid's records since 2011. This has been going on. And the school knows it. So they stand up in front of a judge and they can't even answer any questions. It was so bad, the judge couldn't make a decision. The judge couldn't make a decision because the parent told the judge we're appealing it to federal court. So the judge got a reprieve because she doesn't want to make that decision. Because if she does, the parent can take that decision and add it on and show the feds, the federal court judge, what a judge in truancy court, whatever that is, said about the school district denying FAPE. Because if the judge comes back and said that the school district violated truancy laws and that the school district has to provide the kid with an education, if the judge came back and said that, then the school district is screwed when we go bring that in front of a federal court judge. So now we just won our our compensatory services. So the judge was slick. The judge didn't answer her. That's okay. I got them. I got them. Real good. Okay. So the hearing officer said he doesn't, and then he sent me an email telling me, so I said, where's my appeal rights on this motion for pendency during the hearing? He said, well, you don't get that until the end of the hearing. I said, pendency during the hearing. At the end of the hearing, it will be moot. Do you understand what moot means? All done, all gone, no good. What am I going to do with pendency during the hearing if the hearing is over? Hello, I actually put that in writing. He got mad. I hate everybody. I do. I hate all of these people that are aggravating you guys. I hate them all. Every last one of them. So anyway, that happened this week. So now I'm preparing for the federal court case because this state is so wonky because they're weird. All these people that work for the government, they actually believe, and the lawyers, they actually believe that parents cannot go to court in federal court and represent themselves. So I had to contact OSEP, and she sent me case law. Winkleman versus Parma School District. How you like that? I'll be putting that out there. Anybody wants it, I got it. I'll send it to you. There. It says right in there that the district court erred when they told the parents they couldn't represent themselves in court. federal court. That's what IDEA is all about. You and your rights as a parent. So anybody that tells you in any state that you can't, you contact me. I think I'm going to put that as a, you know how you make that page, the picture? I'm going to put that as my picture, what she said. Winkleman versus Palmer School District. I'll put all of that information so you guys can see it. And underneath I'll put, you can represent yourself in federal court. You can file the paperwork. You have to still comply with all of the procedures, but it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I mean, you're going to take a minute to do it. So anyway, paper trail and why you need it. So because of all of the things that we did, that we could prove. So when the school district in that case, I was just telling you, I'm going to tell you how good the paper trail is. When the school district filed the truancy charges, they wrote that the child's been truant, and what they didn't tell the judge, because if they told the judge this, it wouldn't have gone through. What they didn't tell the judge is the mother had at least 6 to 8 medically excused absences. If you have medically excused absences, then how is the child truant? How is that possible? What can I do if I'm emailing to set up a paper trail, but the school calls me to respond to my email? Don't answer the phone. Let them leave a message. See, I always have an answer. This is what you do. Let them leave a message, right? So let the phone ring. When you see it's a school, they're going to leave a message because they're stupid, because there's your paper trail. Because your message says, I'm not available. Please leave your message at the sound of the beep. And guess what that means? Their actual voice is on the recording. They have to leave it. Please leave your name and telephone number, and I will respond to you promptly. Change your message to that. I am not available at the moment. Please leave your name and number in a brief message as to what you're calling about, whatever, how they say it, and then let them leave the message. Never ever answer the phone. Now you have a paper trail. Then when they answer, when you go back to listen to the message, then what I want you to do is you respond to that message in an email. Say, pursuant to the phone call I received on such and such a date, and so-and-so left a message, and blah, 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 then answer them. Everything you do, you make them leave a message on your phone, okay? If they got to do a couple of things. They got to send it to you in writing, or they have to leave a message, or they have to send you an email. Somehow they have to contact you, right? Use your phone. And here's the cool thing about leaving a message. Make sure that if they leave it on your cell phone number, not your house line, okay? Because everybody has a house line because of all the cable companies. They give you the telephone for free. Do not give them that telephone number. You make them call you on your cell phone. You know why? Your cell phone. You can get all of the incoming and outgoing phones. On a landline, you can't do that. You only get a bill for the outgoing. Yeah. Not incoming. You only get a bill for outgoing. So now what you do is you make them call you on your cell phone. And then if you get Google Voice, you get a written transcript of the conversation. And you get a written description of who called you. Yeah. Get a Google Voice number. Give them that. Okay. Tamara. So that's what you do, okay, Tamara? Barbara, should I buy those books from last live stream, the placement book and behavior book? If you want, it will help, those books. And then, if you have something you want to ask me about, I can tell you. But the placement book is really thin. And every one of these books that I told you guys about, I mean, they're easy reads. It's not like it's written for a lawyer. It's not legalese. It's real easy to understand. That's why I love them so much. They break it down, and it's the lawyers, except for the green book, the behavior book, lawyers wrote all of those other books. So I miss watching you. Where you been, girl? Marlo, where you been? I miss you too. I was wondering where you been. Oh, thank you. That's what they did today. When I realized it was the principal and the sped director, I recorded the conversation because they were, okay. You don't even have to do that. Just tell those wombats. Just tell everybody, you guys all know what the telephone number is from the school. When you see that number pop up, don't answer the phone. Because if it's an emergency, all you got to do is, if you're scared because it's your kid, as soon as they leave the message, it's them, call your phone back and get the message. And listen to the idiots. That's all. You get it just as quick. It's just a couple of seconds later. If it's that bad, they're calling the ambulance. I mean, and it's never going to be that bad. 99.9999999% of the time, it's never going to be an emergency to that level. Never. Okay? So just let those fools leave their voicemail, and then you respond to their voicemail. Do not call them. You respond to their voicemail via email. Make that paper trail, and then take that information that you have, that don't erase any recordings from the school. What I would do is get a Google Voice number. It's free. And then give just the school district the Google Voice number. And you can listen to the messages on your email. You can listen to the messages on Google Voice, on Gmail. And you can listen to it when you're on your computer. So whether you're on your phone or on your computer or on your tablet, you can hear all of their messages. Oh, yeah, it's cool as hell. Oh, yeah, they're no good. Okay, never thought of that. Yeah, I know. We have to be devious in what we do. We have to think and I'm telling you, it took me 20 years to learn all of these little tricks and little things and little dirty things. One time, it's so funny. Sometimes I'm not in the picture. So the parents that I've worked with, I'm always in the picture with their kid. So just because, what I always try to do when I represent a child is I always include the parent in everything that I do. I don't make a move without the parent knowing what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm getting Google Voice now. I'm telling you, you got to do three things. You got to download Google Voice, Hangouts, and it's already on you. If you have a Gmail account, do that, okay? And if you want, you can actually put it on your phone. So you can link Google Voice to your phone number. You can. It's real easy. Just follow the steps. I'm telling you. If you have a problem, let me know. I'll tell you what to do. It's real easy. Go to Google Voice, and it'll ask you a whole bunch of questions, like what phone number you want to link it to. So you give the school district your Google Voice number, but your cell phone number will ring. So you'll know it's them. And you can listen to them as soon as they leave them. As soon as they hang up, you can hear the message. Be that quick. Okay? Oh, God. You get your own number, too. Get your own telephone number. I've had that same number, 989-632-1031, since 2013. When I first got it, it had just come out. And I use it for everything. I use it everywhere. I do my conference calls on Google Voice. I do everything on Google Voice. I got a copy of the reading assessment, which I don't understand, and they are refusing to write a report on the reading assessment. I wrote another, send it. File a complaint. File a complaint. They're in violation. Go look up 34 CFR 300.304. It talks about what the assessments are supposed to include, I believe. But if it doesn't have key components, then I wrote it, don't write a letter to the SPED director. Just file a complaint and make the school, or send a letter. What you do is you can contact OSEP too and say, so what is an assessment supposed to include? Because according to the law, there's a lot of stuff it's supposed to include. Let me see what it says for evaluations under 304, because I believe it talks about what the assessments are supposed to include. Now in Massachusetts, I go to state law for that. See, it says, in conducting the evaluation, the public agency must use a variety of assessment tools and strategies to gather relevant functional, developmental, academic information about the child, including information provided by the parent that may assist in determining whether the child is a child with a disability. The content of the child's IEP, yada, yada. They can't use just one measurement to assess your kid as the sole criterion for determining whether or not your child has a disability. They have to use technically sound instruments that may assess the relative contribution of cognitive and behavioral factors. So these are the things that have to go. So if you use a technically sound instrument, they should be able to tell you the relative contribution of cognitive and behavioral factors in addition to physical or developmental factors. It should be able to tell you that. Other evaluation procedures, assessments, okay, here it is right here. is sufficiently comprehensive to identify all of the child's special education and related needs, whether or not commonly linked to the disability category in which the child was classified. Assessment tools and strategies that provide relevant information that directly assists the person in determining the educational needs of the child are provided. So this is what I want you to send to the state special ed director. Send an email to the state special ed director. I want you to attach that stupid reading assessment, and I want you to tell them what the school district is refusing to do. And you say, here's the link, okay? You say, pursuant to 34 CFR 300.304. The assessment is supposed to, and then you cite what I just posted there, okay? This assessment doesn't, and the school district is refusing. Do you want to explain how that's okay? Now, then another thing you can do is this. This is where you can get some OSEP letters. So what I'm going to have you do is, I'm going to have you do some research before you send a letter to the SPED director. What I want you to do is I want you to go on the Pennsylvania Department of Education, that website right there. On that website is nothing but OSEP policy letters on all kinds of stuff. So this is important. This is your paper trail. Again, this is your paper trail. The reason why that site is important to us is because it is OSEP getting requests from people and parents like you, okay, or school districts or lawyers or organizations, asking for OSEP, the Office of Special Education Programs, to interpret their regulations. So the reason why that's important is you're going to use it against them. You're going to say, because you're going to send it over to the state SPED director. You're going to ask the state SPED director a question. Now, what you do is you ask that question, and when you send it over to the state SPED director, this is what I want you to do. I want you to include the state special ed director, okay? I want you to include your special ed director, and I want you to include Ruth Ryder and Rebecca Wallawender at OSEP. So it's Ruth.Ryder. You spell her last name, R-Y-D-E-R, at ed.gov. Rebecca Wallawender is Rebecca, R-E-B-E-C-C-A dot W-A-L-A-W-E-N-D-E-R at ed.gov. You include those 4 people and you ask them the same question. And you say, I want to know the policy. I want to know why this evaluation, and you have to tell them what it doesn't include. Now, you go find the letter, and then I want you to contact me next Thursday. I want you to have that letter, because if I find them, I'll beat you up, because there's a letter. And all of those letters are dear so-and-so, and it reads like a regular letter. Okay, one more question. My daughter, you can ask as many questions as you want, okay, everybody. I don't care how many questions you ask. My daughter was supposed to have her reevaluation at the beginning of this month, but we only have 2 weeks left of school. Can they even get the right data if she hasn't had a consistent resource room teacher and we don't get the result? They're in violation. Okay, 1, here's my question to you. Did you get, I'm reading what you said, I'm trying to process some information, okay. When you do a reeval, it's the same process. They have to send you notice, prior written notice, and they're proposing to reevaluate your kid. They have to tell you what they're going to do for the reevaluation. They have to tell you everything, okay? Here's the law. Here's the law. So you see it, and you can just copy it and paste it and give it to them, okay? But it's 34 CFR 300.503. Now, 300.503, it's called prior written notice. It's everything. Let me tell you what it's for. Prior written notice by the public agency, the content of that notice. Now, the only time they use this notice is prior written notice that meets the requirements of paragraph yada, yada, yada. When the school district of a child with a section must be given to the parents of a child with a disability a reasonable time before the public agency proposes to initiate or change the identification, evaluation, or educational placement of the child or the provision of FAPE to the child. Okay. Now, goes on to say the content of the notice. The notice has to have in it a description of the action proposed or refused by the district. So refused means you asked them to do something, they said no. They can't just say no and walk away. Okay. A description of each evaluation, procedure, assessment, record, or report the agency used as a basis for the proposed or refused action. So if they're proposing to do a 3-year reeval, they have to tell you all of that stuff. Why? A statement that the parents of a child with a disability have protection under procedural safeguards of this part, and if this notice is not an initial referral for evaluation, the means by which a copy of a description of the procedural safeguards can be obtained. That means that when they send you this prior written notice, that will also include consent to evaluate, they must also include the documents regarding your rights to dispute or refuse or anything of their proposal. So here's the law. Okay, did you get all of that? Did you get prior written notice explaining all of that? If you didn't, they're in violation.